Right now, I have in the studio Dr. Abubakar Mohammed. I must tell you, Dr. Abubakar Mohammed is a business development expert and he is a political analyst. He also is into real estate. He's a real estate entrepreneur. He is a representative of Nigeria at the Global Chamber of Business Leaders. So we have an erudite guest in our studio this morning. Doctor, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Doctor, let's look at this telecoms issue and the tariff hike, because that means every time I'm to reach out to you now, I'll have to pay double what I'm paying. Meanwhile, it's the same static money in my bank. So, how are we going to get out of this situation? Because the telcos are also saying, well, they have to do it because of costs. What's the way out for consumers?
Okay. It is expected for them to increase the tariff because of the inflation. You know, their company, they are running on diesel,
right.
They're running on, running costs, paying tax, paying staffs. So they have to increase because of the inflation. Everything they are doing, most of the things they are doing, they are importing it from abroad, and then they have to use dollar to buy it, and then dollar is rising up. So they have to increase. But for me, I think the increment is too much, raising it from what it is now to 50%. At least they can increase to 25%. Maybe later on, if things are not working well, they can increase to at least a 50%. But because Nigeria and Nigerians, all Nigerians now, you know what is going on. We don't have money buying the food stuff and everything. And then data is part of life now.
Right.
In fact, not only the data. Let me say a phone. A phone is part of life now.
Right.
Because a lot of people, you can see somebody from the village. He have something that is processing or is producing, and then he's using that phone to market it out there, and then he need data now.
Right.
Because they have to send sample. If I can remember, during if we go back 2010, 2009, 2008, we have to from credit market, we have to take a fiscal sample of textile. We have to take fiscal sample of textile, give it to DHL. DHL will take it to China. See what they will do for us now.
Yes.
But now with the technology, with the data, understand? We can just snap what we want.
Right.
They will just make some adjustment. Then we'll send it to them on WhatsApp. Then they will do it and send it back to us. So we have already cut that, long time distance. So I think Nigerians should just exercise patience with the federal government, since they already come with their reasons, and then the telecoms too, since they said this word there, and then everybody know what is going on. How much are we buying Indomie for our children before? How much are we buying it now? So telecoms have to increase money. But we are pleading that it will not pass this 50%.
Right. But what we're saying, what another angle to it though, is that, like you were saying, since now telephones are all a big part of us, as well as using mobile data and the rest of it, and with our huge population, can't the numbers now exponentially increase their profit level?
Well, numbers will increase their profit level. I understand you. But what I want you to understand, everybody is doing business to make profit. You understand? And then the maximum profit. For instance, now, if these telecoms, they are getting, let's say, 1 billion naira every month.
Yes.
Before the inflation. Now the inflation came, and then they are getting around, let's say, 700 million. You understand? Instead of that 1 billion naira. So they have to do whatever it is then to make that 1 billion naira or more, because they are there for the profit.
Right. So those are some of the reasons why we had things like NITEL in the past, so that it won't be profit based, it will rather be communication based. Let Nigerians be able to reach out. But the world has gone beyond that now. Everything telecom is like in the hands of the private investors. So what we're saying now is that Nigerians need to brace up, because there will be no going back on the tariff hike. You want to make a call, it's going to cost you a lot of money. You want to use your data, it's going to cost you even more money.
And then the best part of it is, Nigerians, we are very strong.
Right.
We are very strong.
We are resilient.
We are resilient. We are resilient.
Okay, well, that's a good one there. So resilient Nigerians, get ready for another tariff hike. Well, then we saw some shocking news, because we were made to understand, in fact, they said by December, all the prices of petroleum products will go down. Here we are in January, and they're announcing price hikes for prices of petrol. What is the correct situation, and why should it be like that for us, where the oil is, where the crude is?
Well, for me, I think the federal government, they have a very big role to play. You understand? This oil we're talking about, we have it here in Nigeria. Before, we have to take this crude oil, refine it outside, then bring it back. So now we have the refinery, we have Dangote refinery, we have our local refinery, Port Harcourt refinery, and other refineries. If they are working, if we are processing, let Nigeria enjoy this thing now.
Because from economists, the economic rule is that whoever is closest to the factors of production will get the lowest price.
Now they said Lagos 900, and let's say Lagos 960, Abuja 980, 990 because of the distance. People in Maiduguri might buy the 995. People in Sokoto might buy 995.
1,000 plus.
1,000 plus. So you see. So I think the federal government must, or federal government should think of what they would do is either to at least bring back the subsidies more. You understand? At least even if it is let's say 30% of it. Now instead of Nigerian be paying petrol at 900 or something, Nigerian be buying petrol at around 700, 600 or something. Because you can't compare Nigeria with other countries now. You understand?
All right, then, but there's the other angle to it, which is like the federal government is now saying that now they're going to take market forces to determine the prices. That is going to be a free market pricing. Do you think Nigeria is ripe for that? Because you saw what happened to the dollar when it was opened. It went into free slide. It fell to, was it 1,000? Almost 1,008, 1,009. Then it started to stabilize a little bit. So do you think Nigeria is right for us to go for a free market economy on petrol?
Yes, I think since we have the marketers, we have our local refinery, private refinery like Dangote refinery, and then the other ones that are coming. I think if it is free market, I think maybe since there is a lot of competition, the price can come down.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So what you mean is that since there's going to be increased supply, there will also increased supply will be able to meet up increased demand to bring the prices down. I want to share your optimism because anything they say prices will soon go down.
And we're still Nigerians are expecting the price to come down from where it is. Yes. Then now they say price has gone on. Understand? Because of the free market. So, but sure, we're hoping. Okay. Inshallah.
All right. Let me tap into your optimism. So what we're hoping is that even though prices are rising right now, we're looking forward to prices dropping gradually over time in fuel prices. All right, let us take our other topic we promised people, and that's talking about the brain drain, as they call it, Japa syndrome, the exodus of people in the medical circle, talking about nurses, one Japa, doctors. We have a doctor who is now the head of the medical association in America. He is a Yoruba man from Nigeria. He's the one heading the medical association there, and we are here in dire need of medical attention, and we don't have those people here. What do you think the government needs to do quickly to ameliorate this situation?
Okay. The government need to give an enabling environment. That's number one. You see, our hospitals are not good. Most of the government hospitals, they are not good. And then the welfare and then the salary of the doctors and all medical workers must be our priority. It must be one of Nigeria's priority. If I know I can leave Nigeria to go and work somewhere, and then I will be paid more than what I'm earning here in Nigeria, I will leave, definitely. Because these doctors, they studied for years. They have family, you understand, and then they have their visions, they need this money, and then if you look at the life of our doctors, they are always in the hospital.
Right.
They are always there doing one or two things. And if you look at the nurses, they are working hand in hand.
Right.
So Nigeria must look at it in the way that, or they should just try as much as they can, you understand, to just give these guys what they want. They are always saying they are going for a strike. That, you know, if police go for strike, you know, crime will be too much in Nigeria.
Right.
So if doctors go for strike, definitely the patient will suffer a lot. Die.
That's a high increase.
They have to increase the salary and the allowances and everything they should do, the welfare and everything for these guys not to go. If Nigerians get what they want here in Nigeria, they can't travel out. They can't go somewhere and live. They are not living the way they want to live out there. They have family here, they have friends here, they have everything here, they grew up here. So they want to continue living their life in Nigeria. But there is no enabling environment. They have to live. So the federal government must do something for these guys so that at least they should stop traveling out.
Right. We had news last time where resident doctors had to go on strike because they were not being paid on-call allowances. Now, how can you do that to your fellow human being? Now, here's somebody who has left his house to come and sleep in the office because sickness strikes at odd hours. 2 a.m. somebody will be collapsing. If not for the doctor, you cannot call the doctor at that time in his house to jump out from his pajamas, jump into his clothes, run to the clinic. By that time, the person has, you know, gone to the great beyond. So they have to be there on duty. Why not pay them this on-call duty? So some of these duties that have been scrapped really need to be addressed. So what are other things you think they could do? Maybe as a salary very low to compare to other people. What are other things, steps you think that could be done so that we don't lose the remaining ones that we have here?
Okay, I think the federal government can introduce something, or a policy, let me say a policy, that there must be a big welfare, or let's say a good welfare for these doctors. You know, doctors, you know, they are part of let me say they are part of our life now.
True.
So we must do whatever it is now to make sure that they are not traveling out.
Yes.
So then, if, as I said before, if they are getting what they want, they can't travel out.
Right.
So you know, the federal government must do whatever it takes to make sure that any doctor is traveling out again. Japa or something they call it. You understand? If you talk to these doctors, they will tell you that if Nigeria is working for me, I can't leave now.
Yes, to go and live as a second-class citizen in another country. When I'm in my country, and there's, you know, it's so demoralizing. Like, take for instance, we come in here and maybe, you know, we are on set right now. But if the production team was not there, it would be totally demoralizing. We won't even be able to be seen on air.
Yes.
So if you bring a doctor in, there's no electricity. He can't perform surgery. Before his eyes, he's seeing a critical medical case, and the person is set to die. Not for anything, not that it is life, that is the day he's supposed to go, but because I cannot operate on him and bring out the thing that's causing him to see. Even you, your doctor, your mind is also going down. You're getting more and more demoralized. Then you now go back and look at your take home pay that didn't take you home, and you have to now come back and attend to so many people because we have fewer doctors. A doctor, just like police, the doctor to patient ratio is like 1 to 100. When you come to doctor's clinic, you see hundreds of people waiting to see one doctor. You even feel sorry for him. How will you attend to all these people? Then we pay with such small money. You know, the cases of the nurses is even getting very serious as well.
People are living. The
nurses are jackpotting like mad because we were made to understand that since the days of Lady Victoria Gowon, can you imagine how long ago, as a head of state, they've refused to increase nurses' salaries. But because she was a nurse, she spoke to her husband and advocated that. Since then, they're getting, you know, very small pay. Over there, they have their houses, their accommodation, you know, set hours, anything over that, overtime, everything is in place. Wouldn't you go if you were here crying? And if they're saying, come over.
They'll go.
So we really have to make, like you said, you really made a profound statement that struck my heart. You said that doctors are a part of life. So what that means, for you to be alive today, a doctor must have handled you. And without the doctors, which shows you your life is even more or less dependent on them. If it's so critical to life that you have to study for 7 years before they can allow you to touch your next fellow human being. That should show you that they should also be very important to you, the human being. So we really have to look into that, like you rightly said. So I'm saying, like they are saying, CMDs, the chief medical directors of lots of hospitals nationwide are crying out now. We really have to heed their cry. So when let's see, you could put up the telephone numbers right away. Let's know what you feel about what Nigeria is doing now to our medical personnel and what we need to do urgently to stem the tide. Those are the numbers right there. Do well to call us. We are right here for you, and we will be taking your calls. All right, I wanted to ask you again, Dr. Mohammed, since you said you're a member of this global, please help me, the
Global Chamber of Business.
Global Chamber of Business League. Okay, what exactly do you do when you represent Nigeria there? Okay, what is League about, first of all?
Okay, it's a coalition of government leaders, business leaders, CEOs and executives, entrepreneurs, and the students. Right. So we came together to bring opportunity to the world. For me, as a representative of Nigeria, what I'm doing, or my job, or my role is to bring opportunities to Nigeria, to bring investors to Nigeria, to organize an event, invite people, invite investors from all over the world to come to Nigeria. Right. And then recently I had a meeting in the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. And then we sit down with them, we are seeing, I explain to them so that we can see the opportunities.
Okay, continue. Yeah, we have a call. You know, I'm so used to my radio days. First caller is very, very important. Good morning, our first caller this morning. Hello, caller, are you there? Hello? Lost that call. Do well to call back. Right.
Okay, so in essence, the Global Chamber of Business Leaders, we are there to bring opportunity to the world. You understand? For me, as I said, as a representative of Nigeria, we are. I'm meeting with I met with the federal government, trying to bring investors and opportunities to Nigeria. Okay,
that's a Herculean task. It's like you're almost taking on a national assignment.
Yes.
Okay, so far, what has been the response you've discovered whenever you go around and, outside the country with your, let me call it your salesman pitch? How has the response been from these international potential investors?
Can you come again?
No, I'm saying, what has been the response from all these potential investors so far you've been traveling out?
They have the funds. They want to make the investment. But they will do the investment with the government, and then they will do the investment with the private sector.
Yes.
You understand? Yes. And then we have what we call Global Times Magazine.
Okay.
We are featuring the global leaders, the entrepreneurs. Right. Now, we even had an interview with Dangote, and then I think at the end of this month, we are going to publish it on our Global Times magazine.
Oh, that's beautiful. We're looking forward to the day we'll have Dangote himself right here in the studio to address us live. Okay, we have another caller on the line. Let's see if we'll be lucky this time. Morning. Good morning. Right, you're on. You're live. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine. This is from Port Harcourt.
From Port Harcourt. Wow. Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, the problem with Nigeria is that they have this mindset which is called I don't care narrative. You understand? So I don't know what is wrong with our government, that they cannot provide adequate support for the doctors. You understand?
Okay, so he's saying that the government needs to care better for the welfare of our medical personnel. I call all the way from Port Harcourt. Thank you very much. Luckily, you had made your point before the line went out. So the numbers are still on the screen. We're taking your calls. Do well to let us know your opinion. Okay, I wanted to ask you, right, is this, like, there's always this should I call it a department or an MD of government that's always talking about ease of doing business. Okay, if you put yourself in the shoes of a foreign investor. Would you rate Nigeria as an easy place to do business so far?
Well, it is not, actually, because of what is going on. It is not. Number one, what is the meaning of ease of doing business? Number one, we need security. For each business to thrive, we need security. I cannot come and invest my money here while there's no security. That's number one. Number two, enabling environment. This inflation is making people going out of Nigeria. A lot of companies are leaving. But, you know, business is a risk. You have to do your mathematics and take the risk. So that's why when we are talking to this, the federal government,
right,
you know, the first thing I told them that these investors need an enabling environment.
Right.
We need to change some things in Nigeria for these investors to come into Nigeria, but they are ready to come. Some of them might come, but some of them they will say, no, we cannot come to Nigeria because we don't have security.
Right.
Nigeria is not a good place to invest. Inflation, this problem here and there and everything, and this kidnapping. You understand? Because there's a lot of headlines that you see. Oh, there's a headline that you see. They have kidnapped Chinese people. They have kidnapped this. You understand? So it's scary. It's scary. So Nigeria needs to fix this issue, insecurity issue, and then this inflation and things that are going on. Okay. Have a call.
All right. Morning. Have another caller. Lost the call. Do well to call back. Try back. You know, maybe there's a bit of a glitch in the network, but try and call us back. So we have one issue of security, but we must still commend the federal government because, like, especially the last festive season, you notice if it were before Christmas time, they would have kidnapped half the people worshipping, kidnapped half the remaining half traveling, and that kind of thing. We didn't have incidences like that now. So the security situation, though still not too good, but it is improving. So let's say on that score, we might give them a little bit of a little bit of mention. But what about other issues? For instance, documentation. You know, is it like a stress when you go to the ministry to have your document done, or to CAC? Is it very easy to have all these documents in place?
Well, Nigeria is not that difficult. You know, Nigerians know most of the people in the office. If you know your way, so Nigeria is a very big. You have to know your way now. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. This civil servant, you must know your way now. So when the investors are coming, you know, they have to align with the people in Nigeria for them to get what they want easily. And then before they come, they had the information that in Nigeria things are okay. If you know your ways, so you can get what things that you get in 2 months if you follow the due process, or if you follow the other way, you can get it in 2 weeks.
So why don't we eliminate the other way by making sure that it's as quick as it needs to be, so that the people are not saying, okay, let me just follow other dimensions like they do in Dubai. You know, they have this desk almost even at the airport. So, you know, why don't we adopt things like that in our strategies?
Because of our system.
Yes, system will swallow procedure. Oh dear.
In Nigeria, things are not as the way they are in some places.
But we'll get there anyway. Gradually,
we'll get there.
Okay.
The government have to fix a lot of things. Like these guys that are living now. If things are working here, you cannot leave Nigeria. Nigeria is a very good country. Nigeria is a sweet country. If you are Nigerian, you live in Nigeria, wherever you go, so you'll be eager to come back to Nigeria because you enjoy a lot of things here in Nigeria.
Especially, there's no place like home, like they say. But how about this issue of public-private partnerships? Because maybe the government could explore things like that. Maybe if you have a private company that will just supply, maybe, if nothing, hospital beds. You understand? Because sometimes we see patients, you know, in some hospitals on the bare floor, which is even adding to their sickness. Talk of cold now. Talk of, you know, how can a human being be sleeping on the floor and expect his health to improve? Your health is going down. So
there's a lot of NGOs. There's a lot of NGOs that they are even giving all this kind of medical assistance free.
True.
But the thing is, the system, as I told you, the system. Now, they can bring this thing, distribute it to the hospital, and then the people out there, you know, the people in the hospital, well, I mean, the big men there, they will do 1 or 2 things because they have their own private hospital.
Yes.
So they will just do 1 or 2 maneuver, and then this private hospital of a thing, it's causing a lot of issues, because now if I'm a doctor, I have money, I'm working in the, let's say, Federal Medical Center in one of the states, then I'm working there, then I open a new private hospital. If we come there, the nurses and the people that are giving you file, they will start telling you, see, you can go to this hospital, they will see you search up, they are doing this, they are doing that. Why can't you do it in our government hospital at once? And then this private hospital, you know, they are not affordable for the people, for the poor people, or for the masses. Let me say it this way: it's not affordable for the masses. Why can't we do something that, just to repair our hospital?
And make it more affordable to the general public. On that note, we're going to take a quick break right here. We'll have a breather, and we'll come back and we'll continue on the discussion segment here on the press this morning. So just stay right where you are. Glad to know you are still there with us on KAFTAN Television this beautiful sunny Wednesday midweek morning. I'm still Mikki, and we've had a bit of gender balancing on set this morning as we're being joined by another guest, and it's going to be my duty to introduce to you Mr. James EZEMA. I call him my leader. He is the president of the Association of Bloggers and Journalists Against Fake News. He is also the president of the Not Too Young to Perform NTYTP. He also is a publisher. He has an online publication. It's called Street Reporters. Sir James, my leader, thank you for making it to join us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
And let me introduce you to my guest in the studio. He is Dr. Mohammed, and he is a serial entrepreneur. He is a realtor. He represents Nigeria at a global summit for business leaders. He is also a political analyst. So there you have it. And Mikki here in the corner trying to be the impartial judge like INEC. So we're going to launch into another discussion this morning. This time we're going to take the news behind the news, and the phone lines will also be up, and your participation is very important to us, so don't forget to call in. Now, I'm going to pick your brains now on something, like I said, news behind the news, but it's an undercurrent people are talking about, and that is this issue of, like you said, 2 emirs with 1 stool. We're talking about the Kano imbroglio, where we have a situation whereby in June 2014 it was that Emir Ado Bayero of Kano, after being on the throne for about 5 decades, passed away into eternity. There was a lacuna for about a couple of days, after which on the 8th of June 2014, Emir Mohammed Sunusi ascended the throne and took over as the next Emir of Kano. Lo and behold, during the immediate past administration, we woke up to the news that the Emir had been deposed and in fact banished. He had to come over to, was it Nasarawa State, before he was airlifted to Lagos, where he vacated the throne. In the course of time again, we woke up to the news that with the new administration of a new governor, ABUBAKAR, the Emir had been reinstated, and now the Kano Emirate was divided into five let's call it caliphates or zones. Then the drama got thick, because, like you rightly pointed out, when the Emir Sanusi was asked to vacate the throne, he left immediately. The next Emir said, well, actually, I don't think I should really vacate as such. So the case is now in court, from one court to the other. At this point, we cannot be too blind. Let us look at it. Are there political undertones to it, and how do we get out of politics in our revered traditional institutions? Let me start with you.
Well, I think looking at it, you know that there's a kind of political hands trying to play the games. It's not as if even from the beginning it was because MS Sanusi was seen to be too vocal, because he has always been this kind of person. Even while he was at the CBN, he has been vocal. He would talk and speak to issues, and sometimes very controversial. Sometimes you like him, sometimes you hate him, but at the end of the day, as he ascended the throne as the emir, he continued in that character of a person who does not keep quiet. He doesn't want to keep quiet on when there's an issue. Any issue, he will want to give his own perspective. Yes, you may not like his perspective, but that is his right as a human being to hold opinion and speak to issues. So, but sometimes, as politics is, if somebody is speaking and is not in your own interest, you want to undo and undermine the person, and that was how eventually he got into trouble, so to say, when he was now first of all banished and restricted to a particular local community in Nasarawa State, when he now had to go to court that no, I am not quarreling about me leaving the throne. After all, I was not born with the throne, so but I cannot be restricted to a particular place. So the court granted his request, and then he was now free to go to any other place except Kano State. So that was how he now left. And then as the politics is, when the current governor of Kano State was also campaigning, it was obvious that he was going to undo some of the things that were done by the former governor, former governor Gondije. So he knew, those who knew, who were seeing the handwriting, they knew that there was something that was going to happen about MS Sanusi's reinstatement, and it happened eventually when he was reinstated. In fact, that was one of the very first assignments he carried out as a governor, the reinstatement of Sanusi, because it was this kind of issue that has to do with the politics of the state. Right. Yes. So, and the thing has just continued to linger, and he has refused to go away because the now deposed emir, who was enthroned after Sanusi was deposed, he now said he is contesting his deposition in court. So you cannot just come out and say I am no more the emir of Kano. So I have to fight, and we can see that both sides of the divide have some kind of political strings attached to whatever actions they are taking. Right.
So, Doctor, look, what do you have to say about this, should I say, infraction of politics into our revered traditional institutions? Because now, like they always say, when two elephants fight, it's the grass that's suffering. Yeah. Now, Kano is in the news for all the wrong reasons.
For me, seriously, I think, what I'm seeing is the politicians, they are trying to, let's say, destabilize the traditional institution. What is going on? Let me say, what is going on is not something that every Nigerian will be happy. Do you know, whatever happened within the society, we will quickly run and see our traditional rulers. If we don't have regard again, so who are we going to contact again? This politician, if they want to go for any political office, they have to go and see this traditional ruler. This traditional, they are the one that have a direct link with the imams, with the pastors, with the people, with the masses. You understand? Right. So if that institution is no more there again, or if that institution is very weak, so the society will be weak. So for me, I think the politicians should leave that institution alone, please. Let these guys do what. Let these guys continue doing their traditional distance. And then, like my brother said, the Emir Sanusi will not keep quiet because of the way he is and everything. You know, there's some kind of position that if you go to that position, you just have to keep quiet. You understand? For me, there are some certain things that, yes, he can come as an emir to say something, but there's some certain things that you don't need to be saying it. Because from the first view, if you look at it, if Sanusi didn't put his mouth in, you know, and didn't say something that would trigger the past governor and everything, you know, it's clear now that Sanusi has said a lot of things that trigger, and that's why this the past governor of Kano said destroy him because of one or two things that is going on. And then politics, as he said, politicians have so much interest in Kano because Kano is as big as Lagos in the north. So whatever happened to Kano can happen to him. And then we have seen, since Ganduje have done this thing, then this emir come and bring this guy back, and there are some certain things that we have.
Okay, yeah, you're very correct there. Let's just take this call right this moment. Hello, caller. Morning, please speak up a little bit. We are not really able to hear you.
Okay, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Yes, I want to run through some comments.
Okay, please, before you run through the comments, tell us your name, where you're calling from, and we'd be glad to know.
Yeah, I'm from Abuja.
Okay.
Yes. Just before I you
Finally.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
What type of system of government are we practicing in Nigeria?
Are you asking?
Yes, please.
We're practicing. We're practicing the presidential system of government.
Okay. I just want to be reminded in case I missed it. I think that should be the American system of government.
Right.
Okay. I don't know if you, and in fact, I know you do. You must have watched either live or later after the event, the inauguration of the new president of America.
Right.
So you saw the procedure.
Right.
You saw how many minutes it took them to inaugurate the incoming president.
Yeah.
You know why we do things wrong in this country? Because we have intention to make this wrong. We have the intention, we prepare for wrong thing ahead. Look at all the resources we do waste, all the time we do waste to inaugurate something that you can do within less than 10 minutes, all the whole event. We take the whole day. At the end of the day, everything they will read out to us is something or things that will draw us back. Some you let me quickly say that I don't really criticize what the current president is doing because it's what he promised that he's doing. So he promised to continue from where Buhari stopped, and that is what he has been doing. So he stood by his word, and Nigerians said they wanted and they voted for him. And it's not my criticism. My criticism is that if we are actually practicing something similar to what somebody has been practicing or what some people have been practicing and is working for them, how come we always like to copy the negative? If you ask the people in government now, they will quickly make reference to the negative aspect of all that, but they will never copy the positive one. So how long do we have to continue that way? I hope, like I have always said, I hope that Nigerians and the bold to take their destiny in their hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It needs to be reminded that we're really practicing the American presidential system of government. Okay, so he's left us with a poster that Nigerians take your destiny into your own hands. Okay, well, why we really want to touch on this emirship tussle as it is because it has dire potency for other areas. We saw that Seyi Makinde had a tough time before the announcement of the Oni, saying Oni of the Olu. The Oni is the one of Ife. The Ibadan, you know, and you know, so then there are kingmakers laughing over you know, it portends for all of them because they are kingmakers. They call them the Oyo Messi. Those ones are the people to announce who the person is. The work of the governor is just to give him the staff of office, having received the name, and to welcome him, you know, onto the throne. But now we see so much interference and then so much undercurrents. So it portends so much trouble. The people who lived in Oyo were living in fear. Oh dear, now they're going to announce a new person. Now, oh dear, well, you know, there should be no cloud at all. Because in days gone by, if you were interested, everybody knew who the next person would be. Right, you sitting on the throne, you know that the day you fly off, you already know, you know, it's rotating to these other. But now there's so much trouble, and so this is what Nigerians do not want. Because like we always say, when two elephants fight, who suffers? It's the grass that suffers. The highest thing that will happen now, like you said, there'll be so much insecurity, so much fear and all that in the local governments where they are. And like Dr. rightly pointed out, Kano is like a pearl in Nigeria. Kano is a state that more or less is a determining factor. If there's any deadlock in Kano, Nigeria must go for a rerun. That one is compulsory. It's nothing INEC will announce. So it's not the kind of place you now fiddle around with posing and deposing and no. So we really got to get our acts together there. So what we are saying, I think what Nigerians will accede to is the fact that politics into our revered traditional institutions weakens the institutions. Let's see what our caller's take is. Hello, good morning, you're live.
Yeah, morning.
Right.
Yeah, then it's Stools calling from Abuja.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, I think I did get made out the subject of discussion there. And from the last comment you made, that is what we want. But we know it's almost unrealistic. It may not be real to see it happen because of the level to which we've taken politics into the traditional institutions. I think it's across board. You mentioned the Alabi of Oyo, you mentioned the Oyo of Ibadan. Even in the case of the Oyo of Ife, those are powerful tools. But there's so much political influence when it comes to the installation of whoever is to be the next person in charge. And that's what you're saying. It's quite unfortunate. So we're looking for solutions. Like I heard one of the callers talked about taking the destiny of our destiny into our hands. I think that boils down to the people. Probably the only tool in this country that you seem not to have any kind of dispute on is tool of boundaries. I mean, they've been able to put it in such a way that you don't have anybody contesting. There's nobody in so it is set from the onset, and you see the people that are protecting it. That's the truth. I've checked the governors over time. They try to want to weaken that stool in order for them to have their way in that particular region. Because it boils down to politics, and we're talking of numbers at the end of the day for elections. That's the bottom line. But you, as a believer, will never allow, they will never accept it. It cannot happen. They fought their governors over time. I mean, we have one particular case, sorry I'm being particular, really very powerful man, we all know him, called EZEMA. He, at a point, he was so rich that half the population of Benin were working on that one or on his business outfit. And you see, he had so much things that kids too before the over. He was a very strong man. But the people still, because if it were in other places, believe me, those because he has empowered moving Paris, and he will have had his way. And as we are speaking, you will have anybody passive, the king will be over. So that is one place. If we see that everybody who knows they have a traditional ruler in his community will not allow the third party first to come in. Everything will be resolved. They all have their rules. I mean, it is there. But somebody comes and gives one fear from the state headquarters because it's the government. It may have been the same thing, even if like in people were talking about, it's still the same thing, actually across. So, powers that we see in the traditional school, it's one that the governments will always want to use for their political gain. And until the people, it's only the people. Meaning, it's a very good example. There are few things like that people have stood. And whoever was giving this tool is just away. There's nothing they can do. You bring your forces from the headquarters of they stand their grounds. They never, I know of a case that somebody who was forced on the committee was beheaded. That was somebody in the other state. Because they knew he could not leave. And he did that. Some people were arrested, but they knew the traditional manner. There's no cause you want to go to. You take them to Attah and find a way to release those suspects. So until the people decide and say, but why to lead us? The politics, once they come in, begin to misbehave, is a problem. I have an example in my own territory where the politicians are ganged up, is now instituted Council of Chiefs, who will not be installing. Meanwhile, you have rolling houses, you have the structures there, but they start down to create one institution to influence where that comes in. So until we decide that no, what should be, it's being from the heritage. It's been there right from time. Nobody can just come anything and begin to tell us anything. You don't need laws in most cases because the traditional rules and laws are there. You take it to court, the Supreme Court most times will always rule. That's the truth about it. So I believe it's left for us to decide if we want, because the traditional tool, I think, is the most powerful tool or institution to have outside the home and the political elites. So we're able to have it. Politicians, give you an example, sorry I'm stretching, give you an example when the politicians go to visit these kings. You see the ones that are very neutral, they don't take things from the onset. You know you're going to be your place. Get it and leave. I don't wait and begin to wait for you. Wants to anoint you, because that's what they are looking for. Because the king anoints any kind of things, everybody follows suit. So I want a situation where the people will come to the realization that please, to maintain this development in our politics.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for your contribution. All right there. He is saying the power is now in the hands of the people. So if the people are unhappy with the situation, they need to take a stand to protect the traditional institutions, because if not, he is saying the politicians will be able to sweep over effortlessly. In fact, he has given an example where a separate tradition of elders, a committee of elders was set up, such that the already established kingmakers were now nudged aside, and the new body set up by the politicians were the ones bringing out names, which is not what it should be. He's saying, let the people be vigilant. So, what ways do you think? Because he gave a very dire situation where somebody got beheaded. I think that's an extreme. But what other ways, can the people?
The truth of it is that we began getting it wrong as far as traditional institution is concerned when the politicians, started enacting laws that brought the political institution under their control. So before now, these traditional rulers were the people who were overseeing their kingdoms. And if you watch, you discover that the level of criminality that we see today were not there at the time, because these traditional institutions, they had their own ways of dealing with issues, especially when it has to do with security. At that time, they know somebody that comes in, they know somebody that is not a familiar face. They know how to say to the person whom the person has probably visited, this person that visited you, who is he, you know, and all that. So, but these days, because their powers have been eroded, they have no role whatsoever in the constitution, and they are now there to at the mercy of some of these politicians who will at will give them staff of office and withdraw it at every little provocation, you know. So because of it now, the institution has gotten weaker, and what we are seeing is the increase in criminality everywhere, because some of these political institutions, some of these I mean the traditional institutions that have they now go to the governors, even though they come and visit them, but they will still be the one to decide for them what choices they are going to make, you know. So they cannot actually speak out and represent the ordinary people who are the people who are closest to them, who they know their heartbeat, they know what is actually troubling them. But because of because these politicians are actually taking over the institution, they can't come out to, you know, to talk for the people. So you know, like my brother was saying, like doctor said, you know, there are times you will not have to keep quiet, not because what you are saying is wrong, but because you feel that no, if you talk too much, they will come after you, and it's not supposed to be so. And that's why some people have advocated for constitutional rule for the transitional institutions. You can't just, it's just like when they talk about the governor as the chief security officer of the state, and then on the other hand, he cannot issue any security order to security agencies unless someone somewhere approves of it. So you now discover that the person is there seated, but he cannot act. So that's one of those are the aberrations that we see around our politics in Nigeria, and the result is what we are seeing: insecurity, all kinds of kidnapping, killings, communal clashes, because even the traditional rulers cannot even control what is happening among the communities, because the communities, they know that this person cannot do anything, because you cannot do anything. There's not even when he appeals to them and say, please, let's calm down and things like that, or come to my palace, let's discuss, let's see how we can resolve this thing. They won't listen, because they know that somebody somewhere, one politician somewhere, one governor or one person at one place is the person who has the final say, and they want to even dance to the interest of that person who they believe has the final say, you know, over whatever that is happening. And that is a very challenging situation for us, that we, before the thing gets, you know, out of hand, we should stop this military mentality of not able to accommodate voices that are not speaking in our own interest, irrespective of what the person is saying. Somebody was saying the other day that somebody was talking. He said, why should he say what he's saying? The question was, what he's saying, is it correct? He said, it's correct, but you should not say it. It's a serious issue. If we cannot say what is right, then we can't do what is right.
Right, true. We can't say what is right, we can't do what is right. Okay, doctor, please let me just get your final take today, because as it is now, our time is fast running out on us. So let me just hear.
So I'm hoping, I'm praying that the traditional rulers, like my brother said, they should know when and what they will say because of these people. And then we hope one day there will be a policy, or there will be a, let's say, policy that will give this traditional institution at least they should provide what the capacity or the power they have. Even if it is not up to that level, at least let them have a power, because now in this society, yes, we are regarding them as the king or something, but we know they are not the one that will do the final thing. And then if you look at it, what is going on in Kano, it affects a lot of stuff. In my set in Sokoto now, you know, we nearly something like Kano nearly happened.
Right.
If not because of God and some people that interpret.
Right,
because you know, they were suspecting the Sultan did politics underground, and then everybody is a politician. Sultan is a Nigerian, is a human being. He has right to do his own politics, but thank God he didn't do it openly. He did it. Let's say he did it underground, and then if you say the Sultan did the politics, fiscal politics, like or say something against the incoming government or something, they have removed him. By now the Sultan is no more there, and then the institution will be too much, you know. The wars will be worse, what they are calling. So please, the traditional rulers, they should know what they will say and why they will say it, and then the politician must know that these traditional rulers, they are human beings, they are Nigerians, they are allowed to vote, so they should go for what they want.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So what can I say? A very big thank you to our guest this morning. Thank you, Sir James EZEMA. Thank you very much, Dr. Abdullahi Mohammed. Okay, thank you very much you for staying with us this morning. It's been a really loaded package this morning, and we've drawn a whole lot of conclusions which we just hope will be adopted for the betterment of the Nigerian society, because you see, Nigeria is for all of us. Okay, on this moment, I think it would be remiss of me not to appreciate the production crew led very ably by Victor Chizia and the production people. Thank you very much. So that's the end of our package this morning on The Press. I'm Mikki Attah saying have a very wonderful midweek, a very productive day, and stay on with KAFTAN Television. We have several programs lined up for you for the whole day. God bless. Bye-bye.